ladies and gentlemen, back at the beginning of the year, I promised you an in-depth video in which I reveal and discuss my top 3 official favorite Hitchcock films. A few weeks ago, I also put a poll out there under the community tab offering to launch my own Hitchcock series, in which I do live review after live review focusing solely on Alfred Hitchcock's body of work. I didn't get too many responses on that poll, but all the same, it seemed like a series on Hitchcock's films would be just the thing for Old Hat Cinema. So today I'm doing both things by not only launching my Hitchcock series, but also revealing what my #1 favorite Hitchcock movie is. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this video. So just what is P.M. Turner's favorite Hitchcock film, you might ask? The answer is a rather unpopular one. Foreign Correspondent from 1940, which was Hitchcock's second American picture, his first being the good, if somewhat plotting, gothic thriller Rebecca, boasting the talents of Laurence Olivier and Joan Fontaine. However, it was his second American movie, Foreign Correspondent, that really grabbed my attention and held me in its grip for 2 delightful hours. The film stars Joel McCrea, Lorraine Day, Herbert Marshall, George Sanders, and Albert Basserman, with an out-of-character appearance by Edmund Gwenn. There's also Robert Benchley as Joel McCrea's co-reporter Stebbins. The humorist was allowed to write all his own dialogue, and hence he's a very amusing character. Made at the beginning of World War II, it was a clear call for American entry into the war, and was Hitchcock's boldest political statement. In a nutshell, one reviewer on IMDb described it as, "Neutrality does not work when others are bent on war." The plot focuses on Johnny Jones, an American reporter who is sent to Europe to cover the events of the impending war. Things really take off when he witnesses the ostensible assassination of an important diplomat, and he ends up on a cross-country chase for the truth, and he uncovers a Nazi spy ring in the process. If you ask me, Foreign Correspondent is the Hitchcock film that has quite literally everything you could ask for in a movie. It's got suspense, adventure, romance, plenty of comic relief. Hey! Even the normally reserved and cold George Sanders is being funny in this. In fact, he may be the funniest one of them all.
Oh, I forgot. This is Scott Folliott, newspaper man, same as you, London correspondent. Mr. Haverstock, Mr. Folliott.
With a double F.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I don't get the double F.
At the beginning, old boy, and they're both small F's.
It can't be at the beginning.
One of my ancestors had his head chopped off by Henry VIII, and his wife dropped the capital in a letter to commemorate the occasion. There it is.
You say it like a stutter?
No, just straight fun.
Folliott. I love that running gag. The film boasts some of Hitchcock's most memorable shots, including the famed umbrella scene and an agonizingly suspenseful sequence inside a windmill. Perhaps the most telling moment comes after 2 men posing as police officers break into Joel McCrea's hotel room. He sees through them and escapes by climbing out the bathroom window onto the hotel roof. But there's one catch. He's only dressed in his bathrobe. He attempts a precarious escape over the hotel's ledge, and in doing so, shorts out a couple of the sign's neon letters, reducing Hotel Europe to Hot Europe with a flourish that is purely Hitchcockian. Lots of interesting trivia surrounds the making of the film, including the fact that Alfred Hitchcock originally wanted Gary Cooper for the lead role. He turned it down, saying he didn't want to do a thriller, and later admitted that he had made a mistake. Joel McCrea was instead cast as the lead, a choice I personally am happy with, as I much prefer Joel McCrea to Gary Cooper. There's also the fact that actor Albert Basserman, who played Dutch diplomat Van Meer, actually couldn't speak a single word of English, and instead had to learn all his lines phonetically. Rumor has it that Joel McCrea's proposal to Lorraine Day in the film mirrors the real-life proposal given by Alfred Hitchcock to his wife, Alma Revel. While I can't vouch for the authenticity behind that rumor, it's certainly a fun little idea.
You see, I love you and I want to marry you.
I love you and I want to marry you.
Well, cuts our love scene down quite a bit, doesn't it?
Because I can't talk about a movie Herbert Marshall appeared in without paying special attention to Herbert Marshall. This was the only trivia fact I could dig up concerning him in the making of this film. Toward the end, when the plane crash sequence was shot, a special tub had to be constructed just for him within the studio tank, because due to his injuries in World War I, he'd lost a leg and therefore had a wooden leg and could not swim. Unfortunately, that's the only trivia fact I could dig up about Herbert Marshall in connection with this film. However, I still think he gave a lovely performance, and the only other thing I can really say about him ventures into the realm of spoilers. The big twist at the end is, surprise, surprise, he's a German spy. What's not a surprise is, in spite of that, he's still a perfectly refined, endearing gentleman. Alfred Hitchcock was about 40 years old when he made this. I know many of you would say he'd go on to do bigger and better things, but to me, Foreign Correspondent will always hold a special place in my heart as my favorite Hitchcock film. Why? Because it's so multifaceted. It's got so many layers. It crosses so many genres and subgenres into one amazingly shot, exciting, memorable thrill ride of a movie. So do yourself a favor if, like me, you are a lover of great cinema, and enter this Hitchcockian world. Good triumphs over evil, witty banter abounds, romance blossoms, villains are heroes, and adventure awaits.
Hello, America. Hang on to your lights. They're the only lights left in the world.